Now at 9, the Jasper County Jail Treatment Program celebrates the one-year anniversary of its first class of graduates. Plus, the Pittsburgh Middle Schools celebrate the completion of renovations at the middle school. And Little Balkans Festival is underway in Pittsburgh. We'll check out some of the events.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Elise Noe. Authorities in Pittsburgh have charged the man suspected of assaulting 4 women on the Pitt State campus. Police say Joe Kernershield of Shawnee Mission, Kansas attacked 4 women yesterday with a handgun. No word yet on if any of the victims were injured. Kernershield is charged with 4 counts of aggravated assault with the use of a deadly weapon. Pittsburgh police say a driver hit a pedestrian on 505 North Broadway Street. The accident happened last night just after 10. Authorities say a 2015 Chevy Silverado struck a woman as she was walking across the street. EMS took the woman to the hospital for her injuries. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with a first look at weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice day for us today. You can see a nice shot of the sun setting this evening. High temperature was 91 degrees, so a little bit hotter. We started out beautiful at 58, 87 is our normal high, so just a little bit above where we should be for this time of the year. We're dropping back through the lower 80s and 70s now, and again, another beautiful night as we drop back near 60 for an overnight low. So down to 71 by 11 p.m., 62 at 7 a.m., 78 by 10 a.m. If you're heading out area lakes, whatever this weekend, it looks pretty good. Clear skies for us right now. We still have clear skies across the entire Central Plains. It just gets a little bit hotter as we head into the weekend. Hit and miss storms on Monday, better chances for storms on Tuesday. Also, we're heating up next week. We're going to break this all down for you here in just a bit. Tanya?
The Parsons High School and Middle School today welcomed a renowned motivational speaker. Damon Parker, a championship wrestling coach and executive director of the Jones Project, spoke with students about teen mental health issues and suicide prevention. The Jones Project is a nonprofit organization dedicated to making a positive impact on the lives of students. For Coach Parker, the time is ripe for an ongoing and in-depth conversation with teens about these issues.
The pendulum is starting to swing in the correct direction. It's something that, you know, you hear people say a lot, oh, we need to destigmatize the conversation around mental health. And as adults, that's true. But as someone that's seen firsthand, like kids that I go and talk to in schools all over the state, and in my own experience teaching, especially since we came out of COVID, kids are just so much more willing to talk about it nowadays.
Coach Parker says he aims to foster an environment where students feel encouraged to seek help, support their peers, and collectively create a positive change. Pittsburgh Community Schools today celebrated the completion of its bond project at the middle school. Construction started last May to remodel all 4 floors of the middle school. Those renovations included adding a modern science lab, an ADA-compliant elevator, and renovating the school's auditorium.
Most joy is, number one, seeing how the students are reacting to it. We're giving them a beautiful place to be educated in. So first and foremost, that is the most important. Secondly, is the community. Once again, this is a very important building to the community. It is saving a historic building that is iconic to many people here.
I like the changes. They're a lot better. I really like the walls because they have a lot of designs and they're really pretty. And they still give you flashbacks from like the old school, but they're not like old.
The renovations were paid for with a bond approved by voters in January of last year. Jasper County Jail Treatment Program celebrated the one-year anniversary of their first graduating class. At the event, graduates shared with current members of the program their progress and experiences following their addiction treatment program completion. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has the story.
Derek Lawrence had been struggling with drug and alcohol addiction for 40 years, but in the last 18 months, he's clean.
It feels great. I just had a 59th birthday and I feel tremendously great.
But it's not always easy.
Life is an everyday struggle and addiction's on my heels every day.
After graduating from the Jasper County Jail Treatment Program, Lawrence feels like he's moving forward.
It gave me the tools to use on my journey on the way out on the streets. I'm currently working. I bought a truck. I live in a sober living house.
The program consists of both individual and group counseling. The goal is to address challenges and learn how to cope with them in a healthier way.
They learn how to deal with addiction in a different way than what they have been historically, right? And that's the kind of the key to success is finding a different way to handle what's going on in their world.
This is the only county jail in the state of Missouri that offers an addiction treatment program within the facility. Almost 40 people have already graduated and 13 inmates are currently in the program.
Anytime you just bring somebody in and hold them for 10 months and don't do anything to address their addiction issues, the issues that brought them there in the first place, if you're not doing anything to address that, you're really not helping the process at all.
Lawrence feels like he got the help he needed and still uses the tools he learned in the program.
By staying focused, don't get distracted. Peer support. You need any type of help that you can get while you're out on the streets. Whatever they're learning in the program, to just start practicing it, because when you start practicing it, it becomes a habit.
In Carthage, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
The 120-day treatment program supports inmates awaiting adjudication of their cases in Jasper County Circuit Court or being sentenced into the program post-conviction. If it's Labor Day weekend, it must be time once again for the Little Balkans Festival. The festival pays homage to the region's diverse immigrant heritage. The Crawford County Historical Museum hosted the Civil War Living History Candlelight Camp Tour as a part of the festival. Visitors were able to travel back in time to the Civil War by walking through camps and battlefields where soldiers and citizens tell stories by the campfire. Fans of classic rock were able to have a blast while visiting the past at the Oldies and Rock and Roll Dance celebrating Little Balkans. Area 51 played classic tunes for fans in Pittsburgh at Meadowbrook Mall. Music fans can continue celebrating Little Balkans with the Folk Life Festival tomorrow, with acts like the J3 Band, Leeper and Simpson, and the Pitt State German Polka Band. Visitors today also had a chance to take in the quilt show in the lower level of the Memorial Auditorium. For one Quilting Guild member, the festival marks a great way to show off their talent.
It's an opportunity for our guild members and local residents around the area to kind of showcase and show people what they do and the talents and the art that they're involved in with the quilts.
Little Balkans wraps up this Sunday. Coming up, starting the cleanup process.
One day after Idalia made landfall, folks across the southeast are assessing the damage. I'm Caroline Shively in Carolina Beach, North Carolina. I'll have that story coming up.
Some health caregivers and parents are sounding the alarm about rising caffeine levels in certain drinks. According to a report by Reuters, some pediatricians and parents want the U.S. to ban the sale of high caffeine energy drinks to minors. They say these drinks should be treated like alcohol and cigarettes. Some products have as much as 200 milligrams of caffeine. Caffeine side effects on kids could include rapid heart rates, headaches, and seizures. A new study found kids who are stressed out may not be getting enough shut-eye. Lack of sleep could lead to behavioral problems in children, according to a report by the University of Georgia's Youth Development Institute. Researchers studied data of more than 11,000 children between 9 and 10 years old. And the results found a strong link to impulsive behaviors when the participants got less than the recommended 9 hours of sleep. The behaviors included acting without a plan, seeking thrills or sensations, and lacking perseverance. The Food and Drug Administration is warning 3 baby formula makers about code violations. It says inspectors found significant ones at their facilities over the past several months. The companies involved are By Heart Incorporated, Mead Johnson Nutrition, and Perigo Wisconsin LLC. The FDA says it supervised each company over the past year as it conducted recalls of formula that was potentially contaminated. The FDA says it's not aware of any formula on the market that's contaminated. Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, Pitt State and Missouri Southern both have their first games in the books. We'll hear from both teams about their performance.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice day for us today. Temperatures are fantastic across the region. Most of us warmed up right around 90 to 91 degrees. We've been very consistent all week long, but our temperatures, they're going to start to warm up a little bit as we head into the weekend. We're dropping back mainly through the lower 80s and 70s now. We're going to work all the way down near 60 later on tonight. But here's the good news. Look at our humidity. Our dew points are still kind of in that 55 to 60 degree range. So the way that makes it feel to your skin is pleasant outside to not bad. It's not real sticky and humid out there. Now, the humidity is going to increase just a little bit as we head into the weekend, but still, it looks pretty good. All right, clear skies. We're going to have clear skies for us tonight. The entire Central Plains looking pretty good. There's not a whole bunch going on. We do have some showers and thunderstorms in the western third of the country, and we are tracking a little upper level low down across parts of Louisiana. Now, all week long, we've had high pressure, so we've had great weather, but as that high pressure breaks down, that area of low pressure starts to work a little bit closer toward us as we head into the weekend. We're going to get some clouds, and we could get a few isolated thunderstorms late Sunday, but a better chance on Monday. So you can see here Sunday evening, area of low pressure kind of sneaking in Sunday night into Monday, giving us a few scattered showers and thunderstorms. And then I think our better chances for thunderstorms will actually occur on Tuesday as we get a cold front that is going to try to slice in and then just kind of hang out on top of us. So at least we're going to get some rain chances returning by the time we head into next week. All right, let's step through your weekend. We're going to drop back near 60 for us tonight. So if you're getting out tomorrow, looks fantastic. We're going to be into the mid-80s by noon, and then I think most of us will warm up into the lower 90s. About 93 in Lamar, 94 in Miami, Grand Lake, 93 if you're heading down to Table Rock, right around 90 degrees, Stockton Lake, up to 93, 96 in Chanute. As we go through tomorrow night, we drop back into the mid-60s once again. Then as we go into Sunday, also looking pretty good. You can see an isolated shower popping up. I'm actually going to keep Sunday dry. I think any thunderstorms that we could get wouldn't move in until Sunday night. A little bit hotter, high temps into the mid-90s, and then our chances for thunderstorms slowly increase as we go into next week. All right, 92 for us tomorrow, 94 on Sunday. Still, the humidity is going to be fairly low, but we are going to see those better chances for showers and thunderstorms trying to press in by the time we head into Monday. But overall, I think it looks pretty good. So let's go 92 on Saturday, 94 on Sunday, 94 on Labor Day, a few hit and miss storms late. Now, the better chances for thunderstorms roll in Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But notice that the temperatures we're holding out into the mid-90s, and we stay into the mid-90s all the way through next weekend.
As Idalia moves into the Atlantic Ocean, people across the southeast are assessing the damage. Utility crews are working around the clock to restore power. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively has more.
Idalia weakened as it moved off the North Carolina coast on Thursday, but not before pummeling the state with heavy rain and tropical storm force winds. In South Carolina, crews were out removing water and debris from the roads. Folks there, though, grateful they were spared the worst of the storm.
We thought that if it would have been raining, it would have been 5 more inches and we all would have been in water in the first floor. This was a big relief.
But it's a different story farther south, where Idalia left a mark on Florida's Big Bend region. On Thursday, President Biden approved a disaster declaration, freeing up federal aid for recovery efforts.
Our nation has your back, and we are not going to, we're not going to walk away. We're not going to give up. We're not going to slow down.
Emergency officials say the biggest challenge remains restoring power to the thousands of homes and businesses.
We have miles and miles and miles of rural area that may service 1 or 2 residents.
Search crews are on the ground looking for anyone in need of help. Governor Ron DeSantis says by Wednesday night, about 40 successful rescues had taken place. That number, though, much lower than expected, partly because the storm hit in a lightly populated area.
There was definitely a lot of destruction, but it was so much debris and so much woods. And that's just going to require a lot to be able to clean all that up.
Initial damage estimates now top $9 billion. In Carolina Beach, North Carolina, I'm Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Coming up, a busy weekend for travelers.
Labor Day weekend is the last chance for millions to get in those summer vacations. We'll hear from some travelers coming up.
The auto industry's transition from gas engines to electric gets a boost from the Biden administration. The Energy Department is offering automakers and suppliers $12 billion in grants and loans to update their manufacturing plants to build electric and hybrid vehicles. About $10 billion in loans will come from an advanced vehicle manufacturing program, and $2 billion in grants will come from the Inflation Reduction Act. Labor Day weekend is here and it's expected to be busy. KOAM's Anthony Saviello met up with weekend travelers to talk about their holiday plans.
With summer coming to a close, for some it's the last chance to get in their vacation time. For many, that may mean going to the lake or the beach, but for Brenda Savage and her husband and daughter, it's the perfect time to go see family.
We don't travel a lot, so it's just usually around holidays and birthdays, and so being that we are so far, we do still make the effort to take the trip.
And for their recent college graduate daughter, Sam, being able to spend this time with mom and dad is important, especially when they're paying for it.
Yes, they are. That's definitely nice. I've grown up going to Nebraska once or twice a year, so it's nice to still be able to do that while I'm still living close to home. So just soaking it all up while I still have that.
Callie Aylshire is an employee at the Joplin Travel Center. Labor Day weekend is always a busy time, but she always has good recommendations.
Especially with people wanting to go outside a lot, I would recommend Wildcat Glades, going out and enjoying the hiking trails, the Shoal Creek Conservation Nature Center, even like George Washington Carver National Monument. That's really nice because it's a beautiful big center, plus you can go out and do the mile-long hiking trail.
And with millions on the road this weekend, the biggest task won't be finding the perfect destination or even the cheapest gas, but rather staying safe. Although for the Savage family, it may be finding the perfect place for their pups to use the restroom. Reporting in Joplin, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
For those traveling this weekend, it's also important to remember to stay buckled and stay off your phone while driving. Up next, how the wizarding world is getting back into the back-to-school spirit. Another year at Hogwarts begins. Thousands of Harry Potter fans gather at the London's King Cross station to celebrate Back to Hogwarts Day, also known as the day Harry Potter and his friends return to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry to begin the new school year. The characters rode on the Hogwarts Express train from the fictional platform 9 3/4 inside King's Cross. The first book in the fantasy series, written by J.K. Rowling, was published in 1997 and continues to be one of the most popular stories ever told. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Why Oklahoma House Democrats are calling for the beginning of impeachment talks to remove the state's superintendent of schools. Plus, a federal judge rules on a Kansas case about changing gender on a birth certificate. Oklahoma House Democrats want to start impeachment talks for State Superintendent Ryan Walters. This week, the House Minority Caucus asked to hold a special committee to determine whether an impeachment vote could be held. Reporter Andy Weber has more.
Today, the House Democratic Caucus is making a formal and public request to the Speaker of the House to create a special bipartisan House committee.
Democratic Minority Leader Cindy Munson holding a press conference with her colleagues Tuesday morning
to investigate whether sufficient grounds exist for the House of Representatives to exercise its constitutional power to impeach State Superintendent of Public Instruction Ryan Walters.
House Democrats contend such a committee is warranted because of Superintendent Ryan Walters' rhetoric, attacks on local control, and alleged mismanagement of education funds.
My email inbox is full, as are those of my fellow representatives, demanding that we do something.
I still am of the opinion currently that I'm not sure that there is any kind of an impeachable offense yet.
House Education Budget Chair Mark McBride, a known Republican critic of Walters, continues to say the bar for impeachment has not yet been reached. However, he says he'd be willing to serve on the committee if it were to be formed. House Speaker Charles McCall did not respond to a request for comment on Tuesday.
I think it's just all up to the Speaker at this point.
Arkansas social media age gap verification law did not go into effect today. The measure would have required parental consent and age verification for new social media users. A group representing social media companies argued that the law censors free speech and undermines the privacy of the people of Arkansas. But advocates counter, saying it would protect children from online predators. A U.S. district judge temporarily blocked the law until the legal battle is finally resolved. A federal judge says Kansas officials are no longer required to change transgender people's birth certificates to reflect their gender identities. Since 2019, a federal consent agreement required Kansas officials to change gender identity on a person's birth certificate when asked. Opponents asked the court to stop enforcing that agreement because of a new state law that defines male and female as the sex assigned at birth. Now a federal judge granted that request. A website of galactic proportions. After months of anticipation, the Pentagon is officially launching an online site for logging UFO sightings. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera has more from Washington.
The truth is out there, and the Pentagon is unveiling a new website aimed at learning more about UFOs.
This will be something that we'll continue to keep the public updated on.
The site, which was launched by the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, or AARO, will be full of declassified pictures, videos, and other reports of unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs. Eventually, users will also be allowed to submit information for AARO to then review.
As we move ahead into the future, there will be a subsequent update to that site that will allow DoD service members or civilians to provide reports via a private and secure means.
Interest in UAPs skyrocketed this summer after a whistleblower told a House Oversight Committee in July he believed the government was covering up evidence of non-human technology. He pointed to sightings by commercial pilots of objects with flight patterns they could not understand.
We have nothing that can stop in midair and go the other direction, nor do we have anything that can, like in our situation, come down from space, hang out for 3 hours, and go back up.
The Department of Defense hopes this new site will increase transparency.
AARO is focused on the facts, taking in information.
AARO plans to launch its reporting tool in the fall, first for government employees and service members. There isn't a timeline yet as to when the public will be able to submit reports. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
A bit later, using technology to help the visually impaired.
Robots could be putting real canine service animals out of a job. I'm Lauren Green with a look at the potential guide dogs of the future. Coming up.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice day for us today. Temperatures are fantastic across the region. Most of us warmed up right around 90 to 91 degrees. We've been very consistent all week long, but our temperatures, they're going to start to warm up a little bit as we head into the weekend. We're dropping back mainly through the lower 80s and 70s now. We're going to work all the way down near 60 later on tonight. But here's the good news. Look at our humidity. Our dew points are still kind of in that 55 to 60 degree range. So the way that makes it feel to your skin is pleasant outside to not bad. It's not real sticky and humid out there. Now the humidity is going to increase just a little bit as we head into the weekend, but still it looks pretty good. All right, clear skies. We're going to have clear skies for us tonight. The entire Central Plains looking pretty good. There's not a whole bunch going on. We do have some showers and thunderstorms in the western third of the country, and we are tracking a little upper level low down across parts of Louisiana. Now, all week long, we've had high pressure, so we've had great weather. But as that high pressure breaks down, that area of low pressure starts to work a little bit closer toward us as we head into the weekend. We're going to get some clouds, and we could get a few isolated thunderstorms late Sunday, but a better chance on Monday. So you can see here's Sunday evening, area of low pressure kind of sneaking in Sunday night into Monday, giving us a few scattered showers and thunderstorms. And then I think our better chances for thunderstorms will actually occur on Tuesday as we get a cold front that is going to try to slice in and then just kind of hang out on top of us. So at least we're going to get some rain chances returning by the time we head into next week. All right, let's step through your weekend. We're going to drop back near 60 for us tonight. So if you're getting out tomorrow, looks fantastic. We're going to be into the mid-80s by noon, and I think most of us will warm up into the lower 90s. About 93 in Lamar, 94 in Miami, Grand Lake, 93 if you're heading down to Table Rock, right around 90 degrees, Stockton Lake, up to 93, 96 in Chanute. As we go through tomorrow night, we drop back into the mid-60s once again. Then as we go into Sunday, also looking pretty good. You can see an isolated shower popping up. I'm actually going to keep Sunday dry. I think any thunderstorms that we could get wouldn't move in until Sunday night. A little bit hotter, high temps into the mid-90s, and then our chances for thunderstorms slowly increase as we go into next week. All right, 92 for us tomorrow, 94 on Sunday. Still, the humidity is going to be fairly low, but we are going to see those better chances for showers and thunderstorms trying to press in by the time we head into Monday. But overall, I think it looks pretty good. So let's go 92 on Saturday, 94 on Sunday, 94 on Labor Day, a few hit-and-miss storms late. Now, the better chances for thunderstorms roll in Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But notice that the temperatures, we're holding out into the mid-90s, and we stay into the mid-90s all the way through next weekend.
Week 1 of the college football season kicked off last night in the 4 states, and for our 2 local teams, Pittsburgh State and Missouri Southern, they each started their games one way, then finished another. After a slow start, leading just 6-0 at halftime, Pitt State football came alive in the second half to win over Washburn 34-7 last night.
Well, I like getting the win, that's for sure, 1-0. Wins are hard to come by in this conference, and Washburn's a good football team, and they've won a lot of football games here of late in this stadium. Since 2011, they've had a streak, and our guys battled. That was one of the things that I really enjoyed seeing tonight, but a lot of things to clean up, certainly.
And even when a win leaves something to be desired like this, the Gorillas feel it's a good example of one part of their team picking up another.
It just shows the cohesiveness of, this team. Offense is going to feed off the defense's energy, defense is going to feed off the offense's energy. And when we're able to do that, and then special teams is on all cylinders, that just helps the game come along, and that just helps everybody make those plays. So we told the offense, we got your back. Regardless of what happens, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Meanwhile, in Joplin, Missouri Southern got off to the complete opposite. A very fast start, taking a 14-0 lead on number 5 Northwest Missouri State before ultimately falling 31-24.
We talk about it in our team meetings. We talk about it where we need 4 quarters. And so you find a way to play the third and the fourth like we did the first, and all of a sudden, we win that game by 3 scores.
However, putting a quality opponent like that up against the ropes is not something that surprises Coach Bradley or any of those inside the Southern football program.
Really, it's a message that started 9 months ago. Yeah. We've been talking to these guys about training. We've been talking about eating the right things, lifting, running, getting in your playbook, and these guys have done that. And so they've prepared themselves to be a very good football team. And so it wasn't shocking to me to see us, do well at times in this game, because I know that we're a good football team, and I know that this is just the beginning, and we'll build off of this and become an even better football team.
Both the Gorillas and the Lions head on the road next week for another Thursday night contest. PSU is over at Fort Hays State. Southern travels to Washburn. Right now, though, in the 4 states, an evening of high school football is coming to a close. Week 1 of the season in Kansas. Missouri schools in their second week. Some Oklahoma schools grouped in with either one. But it's your first chance to watch Fox Press Box tonight on Fox 14. Highlights and scores from games across the area, and 4 States Friday night as well in the second half of KOAM News at 10. But for now, that's all with sports. We're back with more news after this.
For people without vision loss or blindness, sight can often be taken for granted. And while traditional guide dogs are available for people who need help navigating their surroundings, researchers overseas believe their robotic guide dog, armed with room mapping sensors, could be a better fit. Fox News correspondent Lauren Green has that story.
In the near future, robotic dogs could replace actual canines as service animals for people who are blind and visually impaired. That's the vision of researchers at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology. They're busy customizing a 4-legged bot to see how well it can safely navigate people who can't see. The team outfitted the robo-dog with special room mapping sensors, which use cameras and lasers to identify its surroundings.
You can create a map on the spot and then can decide which is the best path to take to reach the target.
Those sensors are also critical in ensuring the dog reacts to unexpected objects that may cross its path.
It can avoid dynamic obstacles, like if some people or some other obstacles show up.
And while traditional guide dogs are already helping people with extreme vision loss, Swiss researchers say the pups have their limitations, citing how their robotic dog can be programmed to do specific tasks in unfamiliar places. The team also believes their technology is perfect for blind people who may be allergic to real dogs, but still need assistance getting around.
I mean, for some people, they are still a good option, but they are very costly to train, and not all people want to actually have a dog.
As researchers continue working on their robot guide dogs, their invention could have real impacts across the country. According to the CDC, roughly 6 million Americans suffer from vision loss, and 1 million are blind. Lauren Green, Fox News.
Coming up, we'll take a look at a preview of the new movies hitting theaters this fall. It's time for our fall movie preview and a look at some of the most highly anticipated movies on the way. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
From a murder mystery to action and horror franchises, run us through some of the biggest movies coming out in September.
A Haunting in Venice kicks it off with Kenneth Branagh returning for his third adaptation of an Agatha Christie story. We also have Dumb Money, which is based on a real story of the GameStop stock bonanza. Saw X is a prequel that is coming out. September looks to end with a big, fantastic-looking original sci-fi movie from director Gareth Edwards, who also brought us Rogue One, a Star Wars story. This one's called The Creator.
October starts with a scary movie.
Exorcist Believer. This is a sequel to what many regard as the scariest movie of all time. We also have a big Oscar contender. I would say this is fall's biggest Oscar contender, Killers of the Flower Moon, from director Martin Scorsese. This one has all the trademarks of a Scorsese picture. It's got blood, it's got gangsters, it's got killing, it's got violence, it's got Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro.
The Marvels lead November.
This is a sequel to Captain Marvel. The Trolls are back and Trolls band together. In this one, there's rumors that NSYNC is going to join the film. Finally, we have a prequel to The Hunger Games. The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, based on the novel from Suzanne Collins.
There's a natural goodness built into us all.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with a video of baby mountain gorillas in Uganda. We'll see you back here next time. Thanks for making us part of your night.